The next question comes from the same group of girls. They come back in. This one happens to be from Jeanette. She says, Mr. Chapman, what you're saying is, from what I hear, we're being lied to. Today, the UCLA economic professor, senior dean, came forth on the local station and announced that the recovery of the financial end here in California appears to be on an upswing. But if you're advising us not to buy houses and there's going to be a lot of layoffs in the government, that doesn't look like an upswing to me. That looks like we're being lied to and it's about to collapse. What's the truth?
Well, you know something? I told him to stop talking to the tooth fairy, but he just won't listen.
Oh, God.
I mean, they lie about everything. Look, stop and think for a minute. Your government, Wall Street, banking, insurance, corporate America, the institutions of learning, they all lie. It's part of their job. It's politically and socially acceptable in America to be a liar. Get with it. We live in a different world today.
Mr. Chapman, here on Wall Street, we were informed today that Bernanke made a statement from my ticker here. It reads, I don't fully understand the movements in the gold prices. Bernanke. He doesn't understand the movement in the gold prices. It's called supply and demand. Other commodity prices have been falling recently and quite severely, including oil prices and the food prices. So gold has got to do something. To me, gold's got to go up. I see no other place for it to go. I am surprised food's going down. How far do you think gold's going to go up above the $1,250 that we're sitting at right now within the next 90 days? Do you have any input on that?
Well, first of all, Ben Bernanke is in a job where you have to be a professional liar. His predecessor lied for years. Look at the monstrosity that Alan Greenspan created, and all the policies of Greenspan were followed by Mr. Bernanke. So he's a liar. Look, he and Larry Summers and Tim Geithner have the working group on financial markets in the markets every day since 1988. Now, under their stewardship today, they are rigging every market. They know all about gold. They know why it's where it's at, even though they have suppressed the price of gold and silver since 1988, and even more so in the last 11 years. If we take official inflation from 1980, when gold was $850, and we project it to today, this is official, gold should be $2,400 an ounce, not $1,222 or wherever it ended up today. And they periodically come in the market and attack it and move it down, and they do that with commodities, and they continually come in the stock market and run it up. I spent 28 years in Wall Street. I started on the floor of the exchange. I was a professional trader for 25 years. I was a tape reader. Today they give the names. We didn't have names, we just had symbols. And I can see every time they come in the market, and every pro on Wall Street who's worth his salt can see the same thing that I do. The markets are rigged. Your government, Wall Street, and banking that runs the government and pays everybody off is running amok. They do anything they please. And is gold going up? Of course it is. It's now the only real currency in the world again. And it's going to continue to go up in a big way. And we're just getting another interlude, which is being caused by your government. So the next step is it'll turn and go right back up again. So you use the weakness to buy if you can.
From the Blog Talk chat room, Creek asked the question, does Bernanke understand his own movements?
Sure he does. I mean, the guy taught economics at a university. He's not stupid. He's just a criminal. There's a big difference. Wall Street is full of them. I worked with them for 28 years. They hated me. They still hate me. And I love it. Because I'm right all the time and they're wrong. And all they're interested in is money and passing on gazillions of dollars to their families as the grand poobah. When I leave, I'm leaving with nothing. Because where I'm going, I don't need anything.
Lisa in Seattle comes in and she says, I don't know who quoted this. It came to me from one of my friends in the financial side that always likes to up one me. She said to me that when the financial markets started losing confidence in the credibility of the sovereign debt, Greece and the euro took major center stage. But nobody's talking about Spain, and Spain has 4 to 5 times the debt of Greece. What's going to happen when the world wakes up to the Spanish debt?
Well, they've just got to be patient. Everything comes in its time. And the situation in Europe in general was deliberately brought on. And these problems have been going on for years. And so you have 20 nations that are bankrupt. 20! And it includes the United States and Great Britain. Your government's bankrupt. In fact, the numbers in the United States are worse than they are in Spain. But the Federal Reserve can print as much money as it desires as a private corporation.
Pensacola, Florida comes in and says, Mr. Chapman, at the bar tonight, a comment was made as I was walking out the door that Soros has announced that the global debt is going to spark a double debt recession within the near future. Is that an accurate comment from such an investor guru?
Well, first of all, the answer is yes. And every time he makes one of those announcements, nobody asks him if he is short bonds, stocks, and long gold. And of course he is. And what he's doing is he's reading his book. His book is what he owns. So he's pushing in that direction. But he's right. And he is a criminal. He was convicted in France, and he appealed for stock fraud, and his appeal was turned down, and he paid a monstrous fine. He should have gone to jail. He was also convicted in Hungary of stock fraud and paid a very large fine as well. He's a two-bit crook.
I heard that. From down under, ask Mr. Chapman about the Beijing U.S. debt holding. China doesn't want to answer the question. The ambassador to Australia from China was asked about the massive amount of U.S. debt holdings, and he stood up and says, please, I do not have permission to talk about that.
Well, that's because he doesn't want to tell you the truth. And the truth of the matter is that the Chinese and the Japanese are trapped. There's no way out. They can't get rid of their dollars without driving the market down. If they had any sense whatsoever, they would be buying gold, but they're part of the international Illuminist conspiracy. Now, China does buy all its production, and they have been in the market, but they come out yesterday and said, the market in gold is too thin. I never heard anything so stupid in my life. But they didn't know what to say, so they had to say something, so they said that. idiotic. And this is the kind of thing that goes on. I mean, this is why the international forecaster is gaining about 100 new subscribers a week. And because I tell the truth. You know, and the other newsletter writers, they're more interested in being accepted, in being different so that they can bring in new subscribers. And every time they do it, they're wrong. I've never seen anything like it. It's been going on for the last 4 or 5 years. They're meatballs.